Hello bag maker, welcome back to my channel. This is St. Lupa Leathercraft, and in this series I'll be teaching you how to make this gorgeous busting bag. So if this is what you want, please like, share, subscribe, and let's get right into the video. I'll be taking the side measurement first. The side measurement of the bag, which is 7.5 inches width. The wideness of the side is 7.5 inches, while the length of the side is 9.5 inches. Trying to get the center of the wideness, that is 7.5, and it is 7.5 inches wide. Now 7.5 divided by 2 is 3.5 and quarter. 3.5 and quarter, that's the half. So now placing that at the center, of the wideness, that is the one at 7.5 inches. Now to your right, go 1 inches. To your right, mark out 1 inch, rather 1 inch, then 1 inch again. Do the same thing to the left side of the center. From the center to the left, take 1 inch, and from that 1 inch, take another inch. So that's 1 inch to your right after the center. That's the center. To your right is 1 inch. From that 1 inch again, take another 1 inch. From the center again to the left, take 1 inch, and from that 1 inch, take another 1 inch. So basically it's like 2 inches to the right from the center and 2 inches from the left from the center, but they are demarcated in 1 inch by 1 inch. We understand this as the lesson goes on. Now from that point, this exact point, I'll be joining it to the corner of the bottom of my pattern. So please be mindful of where you take your line from. Yes, that exact line. Place it also and do the same for the other side of your pattern. Still working on the pattern. The first 1 inch away from the center, here's this particular point. I want to make a curve, just like that, a curve to blend in with the side of my pattern. Please pay attention. If you don't have anything curvy to use, you can fold the pattern into 2 and then trace out first, so that you'll be able to have equal curves. Now I'm curving out with that ruler, just that way, and I'll be doing the same for the other side. Exactly 1 inch away from the center to the left, I'll be putting my curve ruler and I'll be blending in with the triangular line. So this is how it looks like after. So now, just to avoid sharp edges, I'll be blending it just a little like that. Please just make a little curve so that it does not point. Like your bag does not have a pointy edge when you're making it. So the next thing to do is to curve the bottom, the corner of the bottom. I'll be using the cover of a rub. You can use any cover you like or round object you find around. You also make the curve at the other side of the pattern. Now at the bottom, get the center. I'm getting the center again, which is 3.5 and quarter, just like we did the other time, and then join to the center at the top. So it's just like dividing that pattern into two. Now what I'm about to do is to determine how deep you want your zip to go. Now for me, I want it to be 0.5 on the tape rule. Like from the edge of the tape rule, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that small one. That's what I want the wideness to be. Now, what I'm going to do is to fold the tape rule just like that. Fold the tape rule just like that. So that place where I just use my pencil to point to you, that's what I'll be placing on the line on the carry board, and then I'll be marking it out, like splitting that 0.5 into 2 equal halves, just to get the wideness of my zip. Joining the dots together, the width that I have there now will now be 0.5. Now to get the length, like how deep I want my zip to go into the side, is just 5 inches. I don't want it to be too deep. It depends on what you want anyways, but I want mine just a little at the center, so it's 5 inches deep. So that's what I have there. Now the total wideness is 0.5. That small that the little mark after the long one, after the one we call half an inch, and the length deep inside is 5 inches. Now I'll be cutting it out, be cutting the pattern out. Please try and look at the video again if you did not get the wideness of the zip area where the zip will be going into. So that's it, and I'm also going to cut out that space for the zip. Now take the pattern that you've already cut out and place on your letter. You use it to cut out 2 pieces just like that. Mind you, just cut it out like normally. Don't, just the way I did. Please just look at it that way, just and mark it out on your leather just like this. Do not make a demarcation of the zip allowance just yet. So after you cut out, now I'm closing that edge so that it will be easier for me to cut the pattern out on the leather. Now I'll be adding a stiffener. This is stay. tailors use this kind of stay, it is not too hard and it's not too light. I just wanted to give my leather a little bit of stamina, so I'll just be gumming the stay to the leather. But if your leather is thick enough, I don't think there is any need to add this stay. But because I want my leather to, just to be a bit hard, so that's why I'm adding this stay. But if you're doing this for your leather, please do not apply gum. You can see that I later stopped. I forgot. Do not apply gum on your stay. And if you're applying gum, apply gum on the leather alone and then just add it. Just gum it together just like that. And it will definitely stay. Another thing I want to say is that after doing this process, after gumming the leather with the stay, it gives the leather might be a bit rough, especially if the leather you're working with is plain, but you can iron it. I ironed mine, so that was why it was a little plain. You can iron yours. And how can you iron it? Please don't use steam iron. Don't put on the steam if you're ironing. Just after gumming, make sure the stay is facing up, put a cloth on it and then just iron. It will stay well. So now I have marked out the space for the zip and I'm cutting it out. Do the same process for the other side. Now to take the measurement for the front and the back, I'll be placing my tape rule just right here and I'll be measuring around the side pattern. Please make sure your tape rule is firm so that you get an accurate measurement. I'll be stopping just a little after the curve I made at the bottom, just a little after, and I'll be measuring 11.5 inches. 11.5 inches. Also, the width of the bag too will be like how wide I want it to be, will also be 11.5. So now this is the leather. I've cut it out and it's 11.5 inches by 11.5 inches. So I've added my stiffener to it to make it a little bit firm. So I'm cutting out 2 pieces for the front and back. Now for the flap of the bag, this is not compulsory. You may do it or you may not do it. The length of the flap is 10 inches by 2.5 inches. I cut out 2 pieces of that and I'll be wrapping them up with my leather. Now after wrapping, this is what it looks like, both pieces, and now I'll be fixing the magnetic snap and the metal design that I have. You can use any one of your choice, any metal design, or is it lock, anything you feel like using, or you might also as well decide not to use a flap at all. So now I'll be taking it into the machine and sewing both together. So after sewing, this is what it looks like. It's so nice, so you might decide to do this or not. Now I'll be attaching the flap to the back. Now from the top, I took 4 inches down. 4 inches down from the back, from the top, and I'm demarcating it. So on that line, I'll take the measurement of the width of the bag, which is also 11.5, and I'll try to get the center of that width. Yes, I'm marking the center of the width now, and I'll also mark the center of my flap, of the width of my flap. The center, that's the center of the width of my flap. I'm going to put a mark there, right there at the center. So now the reason I'm doing this is for the center to touch each other, so that I don't have a bended flap at the end of the day. So the center of the flap must meet with the center where on the leather, the main body of the leather. So now I'm applying a little gum just for it to hold together, and then I'm making sure that the centers that I've marked are touching each other. You can't really see it because I used the pencil. The leather is just somehow, nothing cleans on it except the pencil. Now, after attaching it 1 inch on the flap, I'll be marking it 1 inch up on the flap. This is on this line is where I'll be sewing. Yes, I'll be sewing it together. See how it looks like. So the sewing space up is just 1 inch on the flap and round about it. But make no mistakes, this flap is attached to the back.